Hi everybody, welcome. Today we are going to be going down to Nuclear Races Rush. This is a 12-kilometer obstacle course race. I'm going to be breaking this video up into two parts. The first part will be a snippet of what it's like to run in one of these events. I will go through our day. I'm going to sort of touch on some of the better obstacles, what to expect. I will talk you through all of it. At the end, after that, in part two, I'm going to explain all the reasons why this particular obstacle course race is by far the best in the United Kingdom at this point in time. So please hang around for the later half of the video. Alright, I'm just going to hand over to myself. I will be in Essex in the very next part of this video. So these are the people that I have brought today. Paul, Nathan and James and Ella. Right. So none of those have done Nuclear Rush before, so it'll be interesting to sort of follow them, see what they think of the entire thing. Quick tip for this one: if you're an actual fast runner, if you can run this entire thing without stopping, get yourself to the front. If you're a sort of a walker, maybe back toward the back a little bit. You don't want to get caught up in those sort of bottlenecks. So the first obstacle is the wreck bag carry. Now this is a 3 feet wide sand-filled bag that you carry across your shoulders and walk it around a course. Almost immediately it goes onto the Fokker missile carry. So 2 carries back to back. These are much heavier than you think. There are 2 different sizes, so pick it up appropriately. Some of the smaller runners might not manage the larger missile, so just wait for a smaller one. That's the tip.
Okay, so the course seems to have swapped around this year. I have no idea where I am. Well, I kind of know where I am, but we're going the wrong way.
So this is the step ladder. Now this is a cargo net on one side and a metal ladder, sort of rope ladder on the other side. It can be a little bit slippery, certainly on the top and down the ladder. Take your time because the whole thing will be muddy and wet. Wait for your teammates, don't encourage them to go too fast. This thing can be ran either way, so you can either go up the ladder and down the net. On this particular instance, we went up the net and down the ladder. So this obstacle I've called wobbly wheels because I don't think it has a name yet, it's too new. Basically it's wobbly platforms with a tyre and sort of an axle thing sticking out the top of it, and you have to get over 4 of these in a row. It's a bit of a stretch.
So this is
onto the chain pull. This is a sort of a 12-link heavy chain on the end of a rope. The only things to consider on this one is watch out for stepping on people's chains under the water, and watch out that people don't step on yours like Paul did to me just there, just to stop me in my tracks. These are the gorilla bars, slightly wider than monkey bars. My advice is be very careful on the first couple of bars because they're often wet and muddy, and that's where people slip off and hurt themselves. I go for a hook-like grip like a sloth, and it just basically means you can lock it in rather than putting all your sort of dependency on one hand. This is the Cloud Eater. It is your stereotypical A-frame that you find on most assault courses. This one at Nuclear Races is quite steep. Just be very careful as you go over the top. Watch out for your fingers because lots of people are on the net at the same time and the net does move.
Jim, where's Jim? There he is. You can do it, Jim!
This is the Weaver. The Weaver is a selection of bars. It's sort of on the left-hand side there, and then with a sort of a frame that you sort of hang under all the way across. It's a bit awkward to sort of do. Yeah, difficult.
Behave! It's splashing the camera, Nobber! Okay, let's talk a little bit why we like nuclear races so much, why we drive 2.5 hours to come here. This is my 7th nuclear race and I'll still keep coming back. But why? The course is constantly evolving, changing. I haven't ran it this way before and I don't really know what's next. 2, the obstacles are constantly in development, engineers constantly building something new, and what they have already is extraordinary. 3, parking is free and the photos are free. It's a family oriented business and they have now the nuclear rookies. They have their own course which is age appropriate, which is really great. It runs alongside the adult stuff. They run the obstacle course race championship heats here as well. So much going on. So yes, we like it. They also do good tops. We like the good tops.
So this is just your straight up axe throw. You get 2 axes, there's lots of stations there and there's a wooden sort of target. The idea is to try and get the axe to stick in the target. I think I've only ever done it a couple of times. You have to throw hard and throw high and just hope that the axe bit sticks in the wood.
Oh! Shinned him! Sorry. Woo! Go get him. Oh, high, aim high.
This is the uranium rod pull. So it's basically a concrete weight in a metal tube and you drag it much like the chain pull. So I've called this one the bar rope rig, and it's basically you get across that bar onto that quite loose rope and then across to the other side. It requires a little bit of finesse, as Holly is demonstrating there. I actually managed to get across that one quite easily on this particular attempt, but you can easily make a big sort of hash of it, even if you successfully get across.
Classy as ever. Mother of my children. Go out of Tim's way.
Drive it, it's not slipping.
He's alright, he's alright.
So these are the Aquila walls. These are sort of inverted 6 foot high walls to climb over. Now you just got to kind of ook your way over as best you can on these. If you struggle with this kind of movement, get your friends to sort of help you over. These are the spinning monkeys. I love these, and the best tip is to get a little bit of forward momentum on your first one and then alternate directions as you transcend from one to the next. If you end up getting stuck stationary, you end up spinning around until your hands fail and you fall in like James just did.
Three more, that's it. Hell yeah, one more. Last one, please. Come on, you guys jump on if you don't still. You have to try. Nice, get to it. Yes, you got it. All the way around. You got this time. Yes.
So this one is Splat the Rat, a bunch of tubes, and the tubes are not continuous. There's kind of a gap you have to transcend. My advice is when you exit the tubes, make sure you're on your belly, else you end up scraping your back on those tubes as you fall out. Oh, and try and stay on your feet.
That's a money shot. Steady, steady, go! The lubed bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so after just over 4 miles, we are about to enter the water zone. It is by far the best bit of this entire route. So good. The playground of the insane.
So this is the Kingfisher. There's two ways of crossing this, either over the top like that with the sort of the low ones, and behind those you can see the high ones. They are monkey bar variants, so you can sort of go over the arch of those. Just beware that they are a high drop if you should fall off. These are the pontoons. Now these are sort of donut inflatables that are anchored in the water with a rope over the top. You can either run them and go really quickly and if you fancy your chances that way, which is probably the most dramatic, or you can try stepping one to the other, which makes you look clumsy, and it's very difficult. It's certainly difficult carrying a camera in one hand.
You're already in the drink. Ah! I'm going low.
This is one of the low rigs, so it's basically a combination of hoops, ropes, bars, and climbing grips just to get you across this void. Basically just use your sort of upper body strength and get your feet. Your feet are what are important to sort of get onto the very next thing. Once you're on there, you can just use the climbing grips onto the monkey bars and you're off. This is Ebenezer. Now, I have been on a lot of OCRs. I've never been in mud quite like Ebenezer's. It has just the right consistency to stop you in your tracks. It's just deep enough to make it impossible to walk through, and you find that you spend probably the best part of 10 minutes crossing this 10 meters of mud. It is unbelievable. The people that try to sort of lie down and spread their weight end up very slowly swimming across, which doesn't seem very efficient at all, because they don't seem to be moving if you look at them. I am opting for the wade, which is ever so slightly faster, and that's probably because I am quite a tall guy, so not that it's particularly deep, it's only just over waist deep, but the resistance on you is immense. And when you come out, you are absolutely caked from head to toe in this gunge.
Get it. Oh no. Come on. He's evolved. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Shit. Oh, that's cut me in at least 2 places.
This is the staircase up to the deathslide. So a couple of things to touch on here. If you want a good photo, you must lean forward when you go down the slide. Else if you lean back, you will end up in a backward somersault and your arse will be in the air, much like Ella was on this next clip. If you watch, she, at the very bottom of the slide here, she tips back and ends up going completely inverted, entering the water upside down and being completely unrecognizable in her photo.
Ready? 3.
This is the paraplunge. This is your straight up zip line that you can go down with all your friends, and it's straight into the water. My advice to this one: keep your feet up as long as you can, because you end up just getting stranded out in the middle of the water and you end up having to sort of kick your way to the side. How you feeling?
Oh, having fun. It's great. Okay, down the tyres, across the mats, into the water and up the bank. It is only white water.
These are the magic carpets. They are completely weight bearing. There's nothing to be scared of. Just jump onto them and just run down them. You won't fall over. They're basically just like a bouncy castle, really.
We are over 5 miles in.
Agility course and all right.
Is space hoppers, and if they're a little bit wet, they slip out from under your bum and you go flying. Now if you look at Paul, he's been equipped with the smallest possible one, but that too is wet and he slipped off it. So this is a sort of a spinny round cage thing in sort of the fun land. These are quite fun. I'd go for a few turns on these, try and speed it up as fast as you can.
Paul's brought his usual brand of knobbery to the sport.
One is the Bataram. This is basically a couple of logs that you have to go over, and then you go onto these walls that are immediately after. They're not particularly difficult, but they're covered in mud, and on a wet day they'd be quite slippy, so just bear that in mind. This is a cliffhanger. This one's super easy, certainly on the way up. You just have to be a little bit careful trying to find your foothold on the way down. Once your feet are in, you're completely fine. These are the MQ rings. These ones just take a little bit of time. It's a bit uncomfortable and it takes blooming ages to get through them.
Oh no!
Right. And then shuffle over a
This
bit.
one is called Vertigo, and Ella, as you can see, she does in fact not like the heights, so we sort of helped her over. The only thing to think about is that first jump there, the one with the 5 or 6 boards, it's quite big, so you need to hop up. If you can't do that hop up, then there are supports at the side you can sort of put your foot on sneaky like.
Pony.
Did you do deathslide?
Are you supposed to go over? Under. Goes down through.
When you come down,
Down through the middle.
I get some air time. The first time I done it, I landed full on my back and it stunk.
Yeah.
So this is a rope swing across some water. Just have the camera thrown over to me. So let Holly demonstrate how to do it properly. It's a bit disconcerting because the rope's really thick. Oh, Ella went first and she's in the drink. Sorry Ella, I should have probably helped, but I had 2 cameras, so... These are the obstacles. These are kind of, you climb up those ridges there, and as you get to the top, the whole thing tips the other way. It doesn't tip very far. You just have to have faith, and then you just climb back down the other side. This one is the Rolos. I'm normally quite good at getting across these without too much bother, but James in this particular instance thought it would be funny to tip me off, so I had to go full koala and then sort of shimmy across underneath. Then it was then rocked a little bit because that obviously wasn't hard enough. I did actually in fact stay on. In fact, I got off the other side, avoided all that water, only to land in that puddle at the end on my back. Now this one is called Isotope. This one is a weird one. You kind of climb up some chains and you stand over this sort of void. It doesn't look much in the footage, but once you stand there, it's about 2 meters wide, and it's like a commitment jump. It's not that far really, but it plays with your mind. There's 2 of these gaps, and you just have to go for it. You can either lean forward and grab the bar, or you sort of take a jump and grab the bar at the same time. And then there's some fireman's poles to slide down at the end. Now this is a mudslide toward the end of the race, and this one's really fun actually because you hit the water and then you come to an immediate stop because underneath there is some like astroturf, like carpet stuff. So this is the Ridge of Revenge, your typical half pipe that you have to climb up. Speed is your friend on these, go as fast as you can. Don't push your feet against it, else you will push your hands away. If you struggle with this sort of stuff, sort of work your way up with the rope.
Okay, 7 miles in. Travelator's just up there, just finished the half pipe. All we gotta do is get up. We're done. Beautiful day.
So this is the Travelator, and this is right at the end of the race, a backwards conveyor belt on a gradient. So the best advice for this is take a good run up, keep your legs running, keep your body upright, else you'll fall flat on your face, and then once you're at the top, that's all of the obstacles completely conquered.
Here we go. Ding the dong.
At the beginning of this video, I said that this was the best obstacle course race in the United Kingdom, and I stand by that. And that's for lots of different reasons beyond just the course and the obstacles, right? There's loads of additional things that you need to think about when booking an obstacle course race. So I'm going to briefly touch on all of those extra positives, why you would want to book a Nuclear Races event, say, over their competitors. Okay, number 1, price or value for money. Like a lot of obstacle course races, Nuclear Races have a tiered pricing structure. So the earlier you book, the cheaper it is. And the later you book, the more expensive it is. Simple, right? So at about a year in advance, they often open up a happy hour and they have 33% off. This is a great time to buy, and this is what I've been buying for the last couple of years. Now, while I've just come off this event, while I was there, they were selling tickets for the next year's event at half price. So that was £45. £45, right? That is approximately half of the cost of going to any of the competitors. To run a 12k obstacle dense OCR for £45 and get a medal and a t-shirt and all of that, value for money. Fantastic. Okay, so how else is nuclear races value for money? Let me tell you. 1, the car park is free. Other obstacle course races charge you between £5 and £10 simply to park your car in a field. It is madness. So value for money, again, tick. And here's another one, photos. The photos that they take around the course are free. They post them up the following week after an event and you can just help yourself. How good is that? So for your £45, you get a t-shirt or a vest, you get a nice shiny medal, you get a parking space, and you get your photos, as well as 12 kilometers of awesome OCR racing. Course diversity. What do I mean by this? Every single time I've been and competed at a nuclear rush or one of their other events, the course has changed. They course it around a different part of their farm. It goes backwards, it goes through the middle. It varies every single time you go, and not just a little bit, quite a lot, to the point where sometimes I have no idea where I am. One of the things that they are really strong on is obstacle density. So there's massive clusters of obstacles and you could spend ages in one of these clusters, and then there's multiple clusters, many clusters of obstacles. I would go as far as saying probably 100 obstacles in this 12k. So it is very obstacle rich in that respect. Now the obstacles themselves have all been engineered on site, and they range from anywhere from a simple wall to hop over or a sandbag carry, right up to the more extravagant obstacles like the deathslide or the swinging or the travelator at the end. These have all been engineered and built on site by the good people at nuclear races. The entire event is hugely accessible. And what do I mean by that? A lot of people will be nervous to sign up to these things because they think they're not fit enough. Now, a good proportion of the people that take part in nuclear races walk the entire thing. Some skip loads of the obstacles too. At the other end of the spectrum, you've got people that sprint the entire thing or go around multiple times and really do use it to test their fitness. There is a 7k version and a 12k version. So you don't have to do the full 12k, you can pay a little bit less and do the 7k. So there's lots of ways to make it more accessible to those who think that they're not up to it. Remember, you do not have to do the obstacle. You can skip an obstacle if you don't like the look of it, if you're particularly scared of one thing or another. Say heights, for example, you don't have to do the height obstacles. You can simply walk around it, no judgment. Family values. The very first thing that struck me when I entered the nuclear race compound for the very first time is how family friendly it is. And this is no more so than you just look around the entire place and there's kids everywhere and they're pumped about wanting to do this sort of activity, and it is great to see, and it's something I want for my kids when they're old enough. They run a parallel race to the grown-ups race called the Nuclear Rookies, and these are children-oriented events, and then as the grown-ups go off one way, the kids go off another, and they have an age-appropriate assault course of their own. And just as much attention to detail and engineering has gone into the kids side of things as it has the grown-ups. And they go away and they come back and they've all got smiles on their faces, they've got their tech t-shirts on as well, and it is absolutely beautiful to see. Other things on offer. By this I mean it's not just a singular 12k race that they operate each year. They do, in fact, 3 main races with a 4th sort of at night time. So there's 3 main races, daytime races. There is the Rush, which is the one we're talking about now. There is Blast, which is later in September, and that is a lapped event which occurs on the other side of the farm and includes a whole bunch of other obstacles. And then there is Fallout, which is the 7k version of Rush, but held in winter. They also do something called Blackout, which is a nighttime one, which scares the bejeebers out of me. And if you do all 3 of these, or 3 of the 4, you get 3 parts of a medal that all sort of clip together to make something called the medallion, as sort of a reward for doing them all. And it's fantastic when you get them all and sort of make them all join up. They have also jumped onto the bandwagon of functional fitness. On the second day of the rush event, there is something called Nuclear Fit. Now this is one of those where you run, do a functional fitness exercise station, run, and another functional fitness exercise station for X amount of times. And it's against the clock and it's competitive, so you're up against other people. Very much like the sort of Hyroxes and the Deckers of the world. Okay, so back to the point of this being the best obstacle course race in the country. If you know of an obstacle course race or own one that can stand toe to toe or go pound for pound against nuclear races, then I would love to know which one it is. So we're looking at £45 entry, t-shirt or vest, high quality, a decent metal medal, free parking and free photos, and then with all the optional extras like the rookies and the fit and the other races and the medallion and all the benefits and perks that I've just spoken about. Please tell me which it is, because I would love to go and give it a try. Alright, thank you for watching this video, guys. I really appreciate it. Please, if you give the channel a subscribe, I think it's the buttons here. It might be here. Anyway, please give the channel a subscribe and I will see you in my next video soon. Alright, Mart out.